lighting up the region.
Good morning, everybody watching Western Television. It's a great pleasure starting off your day with us, and this is where we are going to be giving you insights to some of the stories that may be trending on our various platforms, and definitely we're also going to be giving you analysis. And today we are going to be joined by guests all the way from Arua district, and they will be telling us their preparations for the NRM Liberation Day. And this is something that we must know because the day is not very far, and this is just the 26th of January. That's when NRM Liberation Day will be taking place, and they will be here to tell us more about this day and how much they are prepared, and that definitely that is where they will be joining us. And for now, really, we have a lot more happening in the country and giving you some of the top stories. Parliament has already honored, that is the deceased late MP Cecilia Ogwal, as the body spent the night of yesterday, and that is in Parliament. And yesterday we did have a parliamentary sitting where the members of Parliament eulogized her as one of those persons that championed, that is the rule of law, and somebody who actually loved the country and well represented the country at international gatherings. So I think that is something that you cannot exclude about Cecilia Ogwal, and this is due to her outspoken character as somebody who was eloquent, who was brave enough, and somebody who loved Uganda at heart. So I think this is something that we shall all remember her for, and preparations already underway also to ensure that she's sent to Lord very well, and this is in relation to the burial. So I must tell you that preparations are all over. If you look at Lira yesterday, we did see demolition of, that is those temporary structures that have been there, and this is to ensure that they pave way for the funeral also to really take place that side. And remember, she once represented the people of Lira, that is at the Constituent Assembly, and where the constitution that we do enjoy today was actually laid foundations for. I think she was actually part of that committee that ensured that the constitution that we do have and enjoy today was really very much well formulated. So I think she will be remembered for that. And remember, she's also one of the founding members of Housing Finance Bank. That is one thing that you will not actually exclude her for, and she is an excellent banker. That is something that you cannot exclude out if you're to talk about her biography and this and more, really how good she was. And definitely the northern Uganda region is going to miss somebody of that caliber, and really that should also be a threat to all of you, and you should start reflecting on your legacy, or maybe of what you will be able to be talked about if you die, because sometimes people die if you are really doing bad things. Once you die, people will start making fun of and jokes of your death, and people will actually start praying for you to die, and that is where which is also not against, which is also against our cultures, for you to really ensure that you mock somebody's death and then you really pray for somebody to die. It is uncultural when it comes to our cultures. So I think that is something we need to desist. And yesterday Parliament did have that parliamentary sitting for that woman member of Parliament of Dokolo who really died, and you do understand that she hails from Dokolo, but she will be buried, that is in Kole. This is where her husband comes from. So I think this is where the final burial place will be. It will be in Kole, and really so many dignitaries yesterday joined Parliament, and among those top dignitaries that joined Parliament yesterday was the former Speaker, that is Edward II Chiwanuka II. He was in attendance, plus various other leaders, and the leader of opposition Parliament, that is Joel Senyonyi, was also in attendance, and she eulogized as the late as a champion for the rule of law and an advocate of the girl-child education. And really this could really, I think, really show how good she was, and that is for ensuring that she fights for the rights of the girl child, because really sometimes also the girl child is very much neglected, and when it comes to our families. And really she also told the girl child really that everything is possible. Remember, mathematics is one subject that is very much feared by ladies, even when it comes to this region. Yeah, mathematics has very much been taken for, that is for males, but really due to her bravery and her strong character, she was determined actually, and mathematics was one of her best subjects, and this could be seen through the various math contests that she used to go for, which actually earned her a place that is at a prestigious Gayaza school. So I think really that is her caliber, and that is something that we are not going to really exclude out, and we are going to miss somebody who really championed, that is the rule of law, that democracy. Really, she was one of these people, and she actually opposed. She was actually also praised for being one person that opposed, that is the single party system that was really proposed by the government, but she actually ensured that we ensure that we have democracy that we are enjoying today, and that is one thing that we are also going to be missing her for, and we really pray for her soul to rest in eternal peace, because really good people, once they die, we really also pray for them to rest in peace. Even the bad ones, we also pray for them to rest in peace, because we have been told, even if you are a believer, you must be knowing how dangerous life in hell is, so we cannot really also pray for them to really go that way. So I think it is always good for you to ensure that we pray for our loved ones once they go, because really I think it is good for them. It's good for the Poblang when they actually won the Fadram against West Nile. That is a game I believe all these people who participated in, maybe from the players, maybe from the technical staff, they will be dedicating that to the former member of parliament, that is who represented Lira, now the Lira city, and she was actually a part of that is the Constituent Assembly, as I did tell you earlier on. And remember, so many things are happening over the region. I must tell you, yesterday we did see the passing out of 120 youths from West Nile who underwent that training, that is a mindset change, because really mindset change has been identified as one factor that is lacking, because most of the times the youths think they cannot do certain things, and maybe they cannot become certain people they want to become, and sometimes maybe it is also due to them getting tired. Maybe that could be a reason, because in most times once somebody gets tired of trying, they give up. They often give up for their different reasons, and that has been identified as one factor that is hampering youths from moving out of the comfort zones. And if you look at the investments by the youths in this region, is quite lacking, because most of the youths are not active, that is into the productive bit. And remember, government of Uganda is actually proposing and is working towards, that is, socio-economic transformation, and most of the youths have not been part of this. And recently, when we did have a youth debate recently happening in Aro City here, the youth actually raised the challenge of them not being involved into some of the government projects. And if you have to look at the PDM, they are saying most of these government projects that come and cater for youths do not actually engage the youth, and they exclude the youth, and that is one factor that has been limiting and maybe affecting the operations of these government projects. And if you look at youth livelihood, it is one good program that came and targeted youths but never worked. And this is what the youths are saying. They are saying they have never been involved, and that is where we are seeing some of these government projects failing. And if they were to be involved, they would understand the programs very well, and they will actually be part of these projects, and that would, at the end of the day, also help them transfer their lives and also improve on the livelihoods that they are supposed to live. So I think these leaders are saying they need to be empowered, and this training attracted over 120 youths, as I said, and this was at Diofe. So I think this training that targeted everybody, irrespective of religion, irrespective of where you come from, and we did see refugees also being part of the 120 we are talking about. Even Muslims were there, something that I must say was very, very much good, because really sometimes we have to work together to ensure that we move out of the problems that we have, maybe in terms of development, in terms of really also changing, because mindset change is one thing that involves everybody. Really, if you're to ensure that you change your mindset, then it starts with you, then it must involve everybody, because really if you do not do that, then definitely you will be able to lag behind in terms of looking at these programs. And really people's testimonies at this ceremony that we did see yesterday in Ediofe was quite good, because the people share these inspirational stories of them, how they started. And somebody was able to say after graduating, he tried all over to apply, but really nobody could ever give him that chance. And after that, he ventured into business, and today he is actually one of the rich people, and he has made money out of the business. So I think likewise many youths are going through all this. Sometimes you as a youth could be out there really getting frustrated because you have not gotten the chance to work, and you have been trying here and there to drop applications, and you're feeling maybe you're getting tired, maybe in terms of trying. But I must tell you, as a youth, mindset change is saying you should not give up. You should continue dropping the applications, and maybe maybe the last one you are about to give up on is actually the one that could open for you doors. And maybe if it fails also, there are several avenues that you can try. You can start up so many things, and you can start up doing another thing at the end of the day, which will actually get for you something small to earn from, and rather than just being there idle. Because if you get idle, maybe because you have given up, then definitely that is going to force you into very, very bad things. For instance, drug abuse. And drug abuse is something that has been very much biting among the youth. So I think that is something also the leaders of this country need to work towards. Because really, if they do not ensure that the young people are helped, then I don't know the future of the next generation that may come in the next 20 or next 30 years. Because the youth we are talking about today are the ones that are getting so much involved into drugs. If you look at the drugs that they are abusing in this region, really, you must be knowing that substance abuse is taking over the region. And if you look at some of the places, for instance, in Yube, we have discovered that the youths that side have reached the extent of smoking gray hair. Really, elders are now hiding. They cannot go to saloons and trim off their hairs because they know their hairs are going to be taken by these young people to go and abuse. So I think something that I do not know where it comes from. I don't know who the innovators for that thing were, and I really hoped that one day these people who are behind the innovations of these drugs could actually be brought to book and for causing that damage and that havoc that is happening in the society today, because really drug abuse is one thing that is slowly eating up our youth, and the youths are now sitting idle. And this is also this should be a worry to the government, because once youths, who are the majority population, have nothing to do, then it becomes very, very much bad, because they will actually get out of hand, and that becomes very much, once they become unruly, then the country's security becomes also questionable. And that is also one thing I will be able to ask the leaders who will be able to join us in the next few minutes, and they will be able to also tell us what they are doing towards ensuring that youths are empowered. Because really, once youths are not empowered, and what NRM government is doing in the 38 years of celebration and the 38 years in power, what they are really doing, because NRM started as small, because from 27 members, today we are seeing the government that is in place. Because this is also much just from a few numbers, and that should be an indication to you that you can do anything, and you should always start small, and you should never always wait for that big chance of wanting to start big, because you never start big. Definitely you have to start small, and you'll be able to also rise up. And that is something also I must tell you, and I must call upon each and everybody to ensure that they get involved in. And for those of you who want to venture into business, and this is for the youth, really, there are so many opportunities that maybe we could be able to venture into, because sometimes once we over rely on these white collar jobs, then definitely it becomes very much difficult for us, because this limit us. I must tell you that these jobs limit us. These jobs that we want, once you do not get them, time is running, and you could actually get involved into another activity, and that would actually get for you money. And he and some of the mentors that we did have in this training actually stressed how they started, and they gave an example of a Sushaina who is doing his job in around Parliament Avenue, and who is today earning millions and millions, and he has actually developed and he has improved. And really, he is one of those persons, but started small. So I think for each and everybody, for you to start up something, you should always start small. But the whole point is start. Starting off is always where the challenge is, because most of the times people want to wait and wait and wait, I don't know till when, and definitely all those things really contribute to the waiting. And waiting factor really is one factor also that is limiting progress among the youths, because sometimes also the youths really have certain beliefs that they cannot do certain things. And I must tell you, as a youth, you have the energy, you have the support, you have anything. You can actually become anything that you want, so long as you believe in yourself. So I think it is also high time for the youth to also believe in themselves. As a youth, you need to believe in yourself, because once you do not believe in yourself, then definitely nobody is going to do that for you. Because look at our grace period. As the youth, really, our time is very, very much huge compared to the elders. Once you reach the state of elderhood, so it becomes very much difficult for you to do certain things, and then definitely that will also limit you in terms of achieving certain things and in terms of progressing towards your goals. And I think that is where I want to call upon each and every youth out there to also come out and really come out of their challenges, because sometimes you may be going through that difficult moment, and hampered with this hard economy, sometimes youth really go through a lot, and that is why we are seeing challenges of drug abuse. That is why we are seeing challenges of theft, because really youths have been very much involved into theft. And recently we did witness one of the youths from this city who was actually murdered and butchered by the guys of Apato, and everybody that side, really that community did actually see this young boy beaten, and really that's something that was really very, very much bad. Taking action, mob action really is something that we must condemn, because certain things do not really must take up somebody's life, because you are taking somebody's life because of a smartphone. And really also as the youth, you are getting involved into theft because of that small thing that will end your life. You may be doing it in a group, but once you're singled out, because the people with whom this guy was, really I must tell you, ran away, and they're still alive, and for him he died. And that should be an indication to the rest that you must desist from certain things. You should go back and work hard rather than sitting in the trading centers and asking for something small. Somebody is passing, really, politicians are now running away from the youth because they know definitely youth are going to start asking from them. And this is not only the politicians, everybody who is actually into the community is now running away from certain things. And I think it is where we need to also start empowering the youth, and through the skillings that government is coming up in place, we need to give the youth also capital rather than also just giving them skills alone, because most of the times once we also give them the skills alone without the necessary support of where to go next, then it also becomes very much difficult, because we have seen quite a number of youths graduate, but they are really not empowered, not because they do not want to work, but sometimes they are limited and they are handicapped because of lack of some of the monies or maybe some of the supports where to go necessary. So I think it's also very much important for government to ensure that they get involved with these young people, and they actually bring them on board, and in terms of supporting them. And all these government projects that are coming up need to have that catering for the youth, because once that is not ensured, then definitely it will be able to become very difficult for the youth to continue doing certain things. And with that, really, I want to put that aside, and we are talking about the South Sudanese fish wars that is still going on. And recently we did witness scandals, and now we are seeing another one, and government has blocked vehicles that is containing South Sudanese number plates entering with fish into Uganda. And this is actually one thing that we did see our members of parliament complaining. I did see Honorable Atima Jackson Butili tweeting to, that is the UPDF Fisheries Protection Unity, asking for explanations on why non-Ugandan trucks must be charged 4 million for bringing fish from South Sudan into Arua City. And he needed explanation from, that is the Minister for Agriculture, Frank Mwebazi, and from Maif and other stakeholders. And this is something also I must tell you needed explanation, because this fish really is helping a lot of women. And recently I must tell you, I was in the city and I was into the market where this fish trade takes place from, and people's testimonies were actually one that you need to listen to, because somebody was able to say from that bad thing I was doing, they actually mentioned so many things that I can't mention on air here that they were doing previously, actually before getting involved into this trade now. And this is actually something that has given them a lot of empowerment, and it has given them monies, and some of the people were actually able to share that they were able to also receive monies for ensuring that they get help, maybe in terms of paying school fees, in terms of building for themselves, in terms of sustaining their families, something which I must say is quite good. And because this fish came with fortunes, and that is where we are seeing so many things. But the late wrangles have been emerging. We did see wrangles actually emerging from within themselves, that is between the South Sudanese fish dealers actually clashing over the venue, and maybe in terms of markets, and where we did see some people being accused of wanting to take away the market from Arua City to another place, some of which this was denied by the leaders and by those traders. So I think this is something also I must inform you about, and that is something also definitely we are not going to leave out. And I must tell you, the fish dealers scandal is still continuing. Their woes are not stopping anytime soon from now, I think. And I think this year has not started very well for them, because from the wrangles from within themselves, and now we are seeing Uganda Revenue Authority and other government agencies blocking the vehicles containing fish from South Sudan into entering Uganda. Remember, Arua City actually is a pool for all these fish, and the fish that comes in here is also one that heads into DRC, according to the information we are receiving, and it's also one that actually moves into the other parts of the country. We have seen this fish also being taken to the central parts and other parts of the region. So I think it is not right right? We need to find out why this is happening. But for now, really, we are going to be running for a short commercial break. And once we return back from the commercial break, we are going to be joined by Okishwa Geoffrey, the RDC Arua District, together with the NRM chairperson. They will be here to tell us more about their preparations for the 38th NRM anniversary. And with that, really, we are running for a short commercial break. And when we return back, we shall be able to pick up with the conversion from there. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
AFCON, all 52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023, live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your Star Times subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. Star Times, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
This is time for working hard and producing and able to help somebody who is in need. Able to give to your loved ones. This is time for giving, for God so loved us and gave his only begotten Son. Do not go taking, give, and then you will receive. If you are planning to rob somebody, listen to me carefully, God is not happy with that. If you are planning to steal people's things, God is not happy with that. Destroy everything that makes you an enemy of your neighbor. It's only God who can destroy those tendencies in your life and that habit in your life, so that instead of taking, you are a giver, because we need to demonstrate love in our time. Again, this is not time for sexual immorality, but this is time for us to prepare ourselves to receive the blessing of God. Many of us are going to waste our bodies in going into people's homes and going with people's wives and going with people's daughters, and we are going to waste our lives out there. Listen, this is time for you to open your heart, open your hands, and receive the blessing of God. I speak to people who are listening to me. If you're listening to me and you are in West Nile, my region, will you make your body the temple of the Holy Spirit and guard it? Allow your body to be used to bless our region. Do not destroy somebody's relationship by misusing his wife or his daughter. Allow yourself to be a channel of blessing, because God brings you his life in order to bless other people. Again, this is not time for dancing the whole night. Some people are going to go into dancing spree, in discos and everything the whole night. In my place where I am seated, the devil has only given and deprived people who are wizards to dance at night. Why do they dance at night? Because they dance naked, which they can't do during the day. Why are you deprived of sleep? When you should eat and drink and praise God and go to bed and sleep, then go and worship God tomorrow without an hangover. Dancing at night, going to spend time out there with other women, with other girls, with other men, is not going to give you any benefit of celebrating such a day as this. And this is the time for praises. This is the time for worship of God, because God has given us a gift that we cannot afford.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
AFCON, all 52 games live only on StarTimes. StarTimes brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023, live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your StarTimes subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. StarTimes, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
This is time for working hard and producing and able to help somebody who is in need. Able to give to your loved ones. This is time for giving, for God so loved us and gave his only begotten Son. Do not go taking, give, and then you will receive. If you are planning to rob somebody, listen to me carefully, God is not happy with that. If you are planning to steal people's things, God is not happy with that. Destroy everything that makes you an enemy of your neighbor. It's only God who can destroy those tendencies in your life and that habit in your life, so that instead of taking, you are a giver, because we need to demonstrate love in our time. Again, this is not time for sexual immorality, but this is time for us to prepare ourselves to receive the blessing of God. Many of us are going to waste our bodies in going into people's homes and going with people's wives and going with people's daughters, and we are going to waste our lives out there. Listen, this is time for you to open your heart, open your hands, and receive the blessing of God. I speak to people who are listening to me. If you are listening to me and you are in West Nile, my region, will you make your body the temple of the Holy Spirit and guard it? Allow your body to be used to bless our region. Do not destroy somebody's relationship by misusing his wife or his daughter. Allow yourself to be a channel of blessing, because God brings you his life in order to bless other people. Again, this is not time for dancing the whole night.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
A short commercial break, and we are already 20 minutes to the hour of 8 a.m. and this is the Kokoliriko live show. And in case you're just joining us right now, you are most welcome aboard. And for those who kept it right from the time we began till this hour of the morning, and it's also a great pleasure having you on board. And for those who have shared your comments, I can see them. Toha Wachawaseme live from DRC Ariwara. Thank you so much. I can see your comment. Then Asigachi King Justin, I can also see your comment above. And then Rababu Omen. And remember, before we went for the break, we are discussing vehicles aboard fish stuck at the Elegu border, and this is because of payment. So I think these vehicles are to be charged 4 million, and what I'm seeing here is I'm sorry for that, but the fact is government is really doing some things well. But for me, the problem is our leaders and government policy to appoint some of the leaders for himself. So I think this is what he's saying. And we're also seeing Mahad Rashid all the way from Abu Dhabi is saying he's streaming live, and just like Mahad, you can actually watch us from any part of the world. And that definitely must tell you that West Nile Television reaches very, very far, and you should actually watch us each and every mornings. That is from Mondays to Fridays on the Kokoliriko live show. And today, it's a great pleasure, I must say, I'm joined by two guests, and this is in relation to the preparations of the forthcoming NRM Liberation Day, which will be on Friday, 26th of January, and in Arua district, the celebrations are actually going to be there, and we want to see how prepared the district is. And the question that somebody asked here about the leaders, I will also pose it the same leaders to also explain where the challenge is. And definitely, without wasting any time, allow me invite them on board. And I will start with the guest on my left, that is Alioni, on my right, Alioni Boniface. You most welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here on Kokoliriko on West Nile TV.
All right, thank you so much. That's Alioni Boniface, the NRM chairperson of Arua district. And I also do have the head of security that is in Arua district, the resident district commissioner, Okiswa Godfrey. You're most welcome, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. And I must say good morning to our dear viewers and listeners.
This must be your very first time this year.
Not at all. Oh yes, this year, yes. Yeah, but last year, I think you hosted me several times.
Yes, several times. And it's a great pleasure also having you on board as we discuss the preparations for the forthcoming NRM Liberation Day. And remember, time is not really our best ally, and I will start with the NRM chairperson to tell us how Arua district is prepared for these forthcoming celebrations, which is actually not very far. And I do understand the national celebrations will be in, that is Ginger City, and Arua district also is preparing for the same celebrations. And really, I want to understand how Arua district is prepared for these celebrations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, and viewers outside there. As Arua district, we are going to join the country in celebrating the NRM Day anniversaries. That is on 26th, and this is a day worth celebrating just because of the history, where we have come from, and where NRM has so far moved with us. We are so grateful. So as people of Arua district, live out as NRM, but as people of Arua district, we feel that this is a day worth celebrating, and we're going to celebrate this day under the theme, under the national theme, building a country we all cherish. And as a Arua district, we are highly prepared, and we shall join the country in celebrating this. I can tell you, it is not in Arua district, it is not only the NRMs preparing for this day. I'm so happy that I have received eight members from other political parties who have joined hands with us in celebrating this day, and they have given their own reasons why this time they really feel that they should join NRM in celebrating the Liberation Day. Others have given reasons of security, which NRM really anchored into this country, and under the reason they have given, the reason of security, I can tell you, most especially for people of West Nile, they know where they have come from, and they know from what kind of situation NRM really saved them from. Most of them were in Congo and the others were in Sudan. Business was down in this part of the country. There was no development. There was no infrastructural development in this country, in this part of the country. But NRM did a lot, and I think it is the reasons why, most especially, I'm so proud of the two UPCs who have joined us this year, that they will want to celebrate NRM Day with us, and also some members of FDC. So it is going to be a big thing for us, and as NRM chairman of the district, I'm so proud that I'm getting this big feast. I call them big feast because they were key characters in the opposition, and besides that, we're also proud that service delivery, NRM has changed the modality of service delivery in this country. At least people are receiving services which they ought to receive from the government.
I think first putting you on hold there, allow me bringing on Mr. Okiswa, still in relation to the issue of security. And in 38 years, we are seeing no war. But then there are so many security threats that are coming up. Unemployment is really a security concern that the NRM government could actually look into it. And maybe how prepared are you as security to ensure the success of this event? And as the office of the head of security of that is for Arua district, how much are you prepared? Because we are seeing cases of terrorism attacks here and there, terrorism alerts, warnings here and there, maybe in terms of also people not being safe, and that is why some people do not actually get involved into some of these gatherings. As the head of security for Arua district, how prepared are you for this day?
Yeah, we are prepared. And you know, this is a day we are commemorating, but also celebrating. So it is not an event of its own. It is a day we are going to recollect the achievements of the NRM, government in particular, since 1986. But first of all, allow me assure the country that we are highly secured, because you saw recently the country hosted very, very important events. And allow me join the other Ugandans in congratulating His Excellency the President on attaining the chairmanship of NAM and G77 plus China. But also allow me thank the country in the leadership of His Excellency the President for the successful hosting of those big events, NAM, IGAD, G77 plus China, and that then means that the country is in position now to host any other very important event, probably even including the UN General Assembly. These events are normally taken to countries where peace is relatively secured. And this is an indicator. And you rightfully said, of course, that we don't only talk about physical peace. We also talk of peace of the pocket, peace of employment, peace of wealth creation. But of course, you know, we are going to recount all those successes, because the NRM manifesto commitment that we are now implementing has already put in place anchors for socio-economic transformation, which is one of the core values. The core value of NRM is the socio-economic transformation, but of course anchored also by patriotism and Pan-Africanism. Then also anchored by democracy. So when we have these principles, and now we are focusing majorly on socio-economic transformation, you know, we have made lots of landmarks, and these celebrations will be making people recount their successes, particularly in as far as PDM and Emioga is concerned. Because as a district, we received at least 3 billion plus, and that we have already disbursed to all the beneficiaries. We know we have 32 circles. Those are parish circles. And out of the 32 circles, we have already given out monies to all these 100 million plus per every parish circle. That money has already been disbursed to the individuals. And the individual beneficiaries got at least 1 million each. And for now, we are recounting joy. They are very happy. Of course, we are here to see the returns or the impact of the monies. But we are on the course in fighting, one, the problem of poverty, but also two, the problem of unemployment. Because one of the NRM manifesto commitments is creating wealth and job for the wananchi.
Recently, yesterday, we did see people of Rukunjiri demanding for the promotion of, that is the head of state, His Excellency Okuda Museveni, from that major general position, from that position of his to a field marshal. Does that mean it is worth? Because 38 years really is not an easy thing. Because really, if you look at 38 years, by the way, it is not just as you think, and maybe how you look at it. Do you justify the need of this people of Rukunjiri demanding for the president to be elevated to field marshal position, and really, and why?
Yeah, first of all, he's a general.
He's a general, yes.
Yeah. Now, secondly, I don't know these rankings where they end up. Because I remember in this country, we once had a field marshal and the conqueror of the British Empire and all that. But you know, some of these titles are not demanded. They automatically come out. They may be right, because this should be a vote of thanks and a vote of confidence for his wise, visionary leadership and initiatives. You know, His Excellency, the President, has come out with very many initiatives. That is why we commonly refer to him as a man of a big heart. And you know, there are two hearts. There's a spelling which differs. There's that heart he puts on the head. Yeah, you know that heart? It may be, depending on the school you went to, the pronunciation may be different. But there's also this heart of H-E-A-R-T, the heart. The heart in the middle here, which generates your thinking, which generates your soul, your spirit, and your thought about your people. And for him, to me, I would imagine the first thing is when he brought in peace and stability in the country. Do you know that before 1986, you would not even come to a radio like this and make a speech and you think you will go home alive? Me, I come from Tororo. I grew up in Tororo, and I was old enough in the late 70s and in the early 80s. And I know it, that soldiers would come out of the command, of course, of their president. They would come out from the barracks and lay roadblocks on the Tororo Mbale Road during daytime. Daytime, I mean 6, 7. And they loot people. They get enough of the loot, and then they say, oh, thank you. Then they go back to the barracks. And this was common also in Tororo Ginger Road. So, and I am sure that Alioni, the NRM chairman, who grew up here in Arua, may be having a similar scenario. So out of peace, stability, and security alone, it deserves it all. Now, when you talk about poverty, you know, the war now has launched on fighting poverty. This war has been on from 1986. But people have just been playing around. They thought it was a mere talk, a mere word. Bonabagagawale, Entandikwa, His Excellency had a heart for the people to fight poverty.
Most of these have not lived the test of time. Are we seeing
The
PDM working out?
The problem is not the initiative.
Anyways,
the problem is the beneficiary and his mindset.
Okay, we are some 5 minutes to 8 a.m. and we are going to be running for a short commercial break. And once we return back, we shall be able to continue with the discussion. I still do have Okiswa Geoffrey, that is the RDC for Arua District, together with the NRM chairperson, Alioni Boniface, who are still discussing issues in the relations, the preparations for the forthcoming NRM Liberation Day. And when we return back from the break, I will be able to be taken up by, that is Alioni Boniface. Tell us why there's need to celebrate 38 years in power of NRM. So I think he will be able to tell us more about that when we return back from the break. But for now, allow us running for a short breather, and when we return back, we shall be able to continue with the conversation from there. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
AFCON, all 52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023, live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your Star Times subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. Star Times, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome back from that short commercial break, and we are still continuing with the Kokoliriko live show on West Nile TV, channel 0073 on Zuku. And for those of you streaming us online on the various platforms, we want to thank you so much and tell you that you can actually share your opinions and views via the comment sections. And for those who are watching us on Facebook, feel free to drop via the Facebook comment section. And for those of you who are as well watching us from YouTube, we thank you so much. You can as well drop your comments there on the comment section, and we shall be in place to share with the rest of the viewers. And we are still continuing with the preparations of the NRM Liberation Day. And before we went in for the break, and we are still talking about how and why President Museveni needs to be promoted to the field marshal position as demanded by a section of the NRM supporters, and that is in Rukunjiri, and the RRDC was actually talking about that. And now we are joined by, that is Alioune Boniface, the NRM chairperson, to actually tell us more about this. You're most welcome back, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. I want to add my voice and also to concur with the NRM supporters of Rukunjiri district, why they feel the president should be promoted to the rank of field marshal. Field marshal is the highest rank in the army, and why someone can easily get that is basically results from his resulting command of the army. If you take the military operations Uganda has been, or UPDF has been directly involved in, most of them have been successful. If you take the rebel wars, President Yoweri Museveni became a president and commander-in-chief when Uganda had over 14 rebel groups in the country. But because of his good command, UPDF managed to win all these rebel wars and liberate the country and bring in total peace in the country. But also those external interventions where UPDF has ever gone to, like Congo, to Central Africa and the other neighboring countries, and now in Somalia, when in West Africa, UPDF has ever done tremendous job, and it is because of the command, the council of the commander-in-chief. And I think leaving out that, if you come to civil service and general service delivery in the country, because as commander-in-chief, you still remain the person in charge. Based on all these successes, the UPDF has registered, and the president also, as the chief executive, has registered in the delivery of service delivery to the wananchi of Uganda and Africa at large. I think he deserves that promotion. I pray that the Army Council is going to consider that he really gets promoted to field marshal. Okay, we'll be very grateful.
Okay, I think that as we are heading into celebration, you talked about the theme for this year going to be creating a country that everybody will cherish. And recently, where we did see a number of opposition leaders coming out to protest, and now we did see also police issuing a warning to this board that they are going to be actually arraigned before court. That is where the CID police is already carrying out investigations to ascertain who exactly is where, and this is from the footages that we did see. And these are the opposition groups that we are planting stems over the poor status of the roads in this country. And how are you going to ensure that you create, as NRM now, I'm asking you on behalf of NRM at large, to ensure that you create that country that is going to be cherished by everybody, as the theme is saying?
Yeah, the theme we are celebrating this year is building a country we all cherish. And indeed, Uganda is a country we all cherish. And I'm happy that the opposition, they also cherish that. Yes, we have walked the walk for 38 years now, and that's what we're celebrating. To some people, but let us not be moved by the actions of the opposition. Even if like for instance, the NUP or FDC were to be in power, as the NRM will be behaving the same way. But of course, I know they will never come into power. I know that because of what NRM is doing, the good things NRM is doing. But leaving out all that, I know there are challenges. As much as we're celebrating achievements.
Sorry to interrupt you a bit. And you talked about some of the opposition actually being part of this day, and this day can be celebrated by anybody.
Yeah.
And now, how are you going to create that environment to really paint that image of everybody cherishing this country? Because we are seeing all these leaders not being satisfied of one thing or the other. And this is a manifestation that we did see yesterday. The Inter-Religious Council of Uganda actually met with these leaders, and we are actually saying that the opposition and maybe the religious leaders need also now to echo the voices of the innocent Ugandans, because this people raised a lot of challenges of the missing persons, the hard economy, the poor status of the roads. And how are you going to ensure that you work together with all these leaders, because the theme actually caters for all?
Yeah,
and
true.
how are you going to actually bridge that gap now?
You know, the issue here is one. My first appeal is for all the political leaders in this country, whether in NRM or opposition, to be honest, to get honest with themselves. Being honest may help them in participating in building their country. That is one, meaning that they will be able to honestly appreciate where NRM has done good. And then being honest also may help them, for those who believe in Christ, may help them to, but even those who are Muslims may also help them to take them to heaven, for those of us who believe in going to heaven. You know, people may say that NRM has not done enough, there are gaps here and there. Yes, there may be gaps in one or two areas, but let us appreciate that NRM has done tremendous job. Even if it is the infrastructure they're talking about, that there are potholes. Yes, I tell you, potholes will always be there. Even after 100 years, we shall still have some potholes on some roads. But the issue that we should be discussing here is, how much have we so far done? Where did we begin from? President Yoweri Museveni, NRM took over power when Uganda had less than 2,000 tarmac road. But where are we now? We have done very good job. So I think that is all we need to cherish. And then secondly, that does not stop us. That does not stop us from echoing our concerns in a good way to the government, most especially to the NRM. You know, NRM, as NRM, we have very big ears, we can listen, and it is because we listen that always that people, we again go and address the challenges, and that is the reason why people keep voting us and again and again. And I think, so for those, who present their concerns, like for us as Western, we have a common cry in this region, and our biggest cry at the moment is issue of connecting Western to the national grid. And I thank the government, the efforts put into in connecting Western to the national grid. They are now at a very good level. I think if the contractor is really committed, I think latest, I know the minister had made statements in regard to that. March, April, latest, that will be connected. So that is our major concern as people of Western Nile. But I also know that our road, most especially from Arua to Karuma, has gone bad. Yes, contractors have been engaged, but these things may not be. Even if a contractor is engaged today, the contractor may not finish the roads within a week and we start enjoying it the third week. No, it will take some time, and I'm only happy that the quality of roads, where so far they have done some, most especially between Nebi and Pakwats, where results are coming out, it is now a better quality, and that is all what we are appealing for. We want to appeal to the government, the NRM government, to continue doing better. And if the NRM government continues doing better, that way, I'm telling the truth, the opposition in this country will die. Will not die because the personalities will not be there, but they will have no ground of challenging us, the NRM, and they will have nothing new they will present to the people of Uganda.
That is where I need to bring in the RDC to answer these charges, because he is the head of security. And now we are seeing protests by the opposition group members, and now yesterday we did see also police coming out to issue a statement that all these people who were involved in that ruckus, and remember this riots took place at, I think to me it was the wrong time, because where we did have guests and where some of the roads were blocked, and this part to come and plant banana suckers on the roads. And now we are seeing police coming to issue a warning that all these people who are involved, CID is carrying out investigations already, they are actually going to be arrested. And what the leaders said from the opposition member groups, we did listen to them, and they said government could actually get solutions to this problem rather than wanting to find out why this really happened. Let government draw solutions. And your own opinion, Where do you think the gap is? Because some of the leaders were locked in their homes only to see them on the streets also planting, and yet their homes were surrounded. Don't you think all these things are affecting all what we are really, what the agenda of the NRM government in the 38 years of ensuring that everybody is involved? Couldn't that be also affecting their rights in one way or the other, in your own opinion?
In my own opinion, and in my opinion as a leader who heads the District Security Committee, first of all, the chairman NRM has said it. I can only add on my voice and say that one, this country is governed by the laws. The laws are there, and the law is a law. Nobody is above the law. Whatever you want to do, you must consult the armpits of the law and indicate whether I am doing it in accordance to the law or not. You remember yesterday the spokesperson of police indicated that these people who ran to the streets and started throwing rubbish, planting rubbish on the road, putting stones, distracting the flow of traffic on the roads, had already violated sections of the Road Act. That one is quoted, and once it is quoted, nobody is above the law, but you just have to humble yourself and say, let the law take its course. Because one of the government's commitments is on justice, law and justice. And if opposition really thought that they were to make a point, then they should have made it in accordance to the law. But this thing of saying, I am defiant, I am above the law, I can push and bulldoze, it is extremely wrong. It is wrong even from the common sense of a family unit. Actually, yesterday on NBS, I saw one of the intellectuals, Oba Godber, somebody like that, was struggling to indicate to the public that a country is not run like a family, which is completely wrong. In my own perspectives, a country, which is a wider society of a community, is derived from the underpinnings of a family. So, and if it is, then why would you in your family wait for visas to come and then you start demonstrating? Would that really be in any way right? It wouldn't. Because to me, the opposition, particularly a few elements, we are not talking of the entire opposition. We're just talking of elements in opposition, like Lukwago there, organizing people. When we have visitors, this is a time when it should be glued on the TV if he's not invited, like he claimed, but would have lobbied for invitation to go to the conference hall and listen to intellectuals, because we had very many intellectuals, presidents, dignitaries. You listen to them, but instead you opt to go to the streets that you are demonstrating. Let me tell you, the theme of this year's NRM is that building a country we all cherish. It is not that build a country.
Yes,
building. So building is actually a process. And this is what I wanted to say, that if it is a process, then even if you went to America, a developed economy, they are still building their community. It is not that they have already built it. And for us here, just one thing. I wanted to enjoin the opposition, especially the radical opposition, to just have a thought, close their eyes and think about the peace and security. We are all enjoying. Think about socio-economic transformation. The PDM, the Myoga is not selecting whether you opposition.
That is where I was coming into.
Yes, you come to that.
Yes, I was coming into that. I wanted to just ask one question.
Yes.
Why is opposition failing to work with the NRM government in the 38 years? Because 38 years, maybe somebody would say, now it's high time for the opposition members to work together, like we are seeing in the other countries. As, like, for instance, if you look at what is happening in Kenya, there are certain causes where these people join hands and work together, which is not the same case with what is happening in Uganda. Yes. What is really lacking behind? Mindset. Why is it that can people work together?
For me, I can summarize everything on mindset. And when we talk about mindset change, we are only not talking about the beneficiaries of PDM. We are talking even up to leadership. You might find somebody is a president of an organization like FDC, but when you interrogate his mind, He may even be having PhDs and all that. But these are people, I think, who went through school. They did not even go to school to study some of these concepts. Because if our mind is very clear, let me tell you, like you have just said, even in developed economies like America, like Britain, they also have opposition. They have people who are disgruntled. They have people who feel that they are not getting enough. For me, this time I went to the US in 1999. We had to have a briefing in USAID headquarters and say, when you go there, you are also going to get there drunkards, you are going to get drug addicts, you are going to get people who are so unemployed, people who are frustrated, you are going to get people who are anti-establishment. Those are people who are anti-government. But how they reason it out, they look at what has been attained, like peace and security, then they appreciate. Have you ever seen some of these opposition leaders even appreciating peace? They say, no, Uganda is totally insecure. There is abuse of human rights. They want to make their voice unreasonably, extremely high to be heard by almost everybody, which is wrong. And if you look at what is happening now in, say, Israel and Palestine, would you call that one not abuse of human rights? Russia and Ukraine, would you not call that one abuse of human rights? But why would you find a challenge that you would always sit down on the round table and fix with the leadership? Then you blow yourself to the extent that you want to demarket the country. You see, I still use America a lot as an example. If you got even just a pen from America, you will see it written that from the people of the United States of America. But here is a situation where somebody stands up and he wants to wash all the dirty linen in the public and show the whole world that we are useless. If you are useless, then why don't you first of all appreciate the facts that even the peace you are enjoying to be on the platform alone is a peace that has been struggled to be brought in this country.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, as we run out of time, allow me to bring back Aliodi Boniface, because really we need to close that discussion. And now we are still talking about preparations now. What are some of the activities maybe you'll be able to undertake as a district when you are celebrating this day?
As NRM, we, of course, as a structure, we have had conferences with our structures, right from the district level to sub-county levels, to see that actually all government programs are supported. And these government programs includes the PDM, Myoga. PDM is now the major project we are focusing on, the program we are focusing on. Why? Because the success of PDM is going to do a lot in the transformation of this country, and it is, as NRM, we had targeted PDM to drive us to the middle income status, and the success of PDM also will mean that the percentage which was not having money in their pocket or would have been pulled to money economy. So that's why as NRM we want to see that PDM succeeds at all costs. And I want to appeal to our people to impress PDM. I want to appeal to people, whether you are NRM, your opposition, it does not matter for you to get rich through PDM. And when you focus on PDM very well, even as a farmer, the enterprise you select, if you focus on it well, if you do it as a business, I can tell you, you are going to get out of that poverty, stinking poverty you could be in, and you will be somewhere by the end of PDM, and that will be our pride as a country. And that's why we are saying that building this country needs all. We all need, this is our country. We are not going to move elsewhere. You are not going to buy another nationality. You are Ugandan, you need to contribute in building Uganda. Even if from the opposition side, you know, the challenge we have as Ugandans is, most especially those of us who are in politics and leadership, is we have failed to learn tolerance. Just as the RDC had said, there are challenges. I lived in US. There are challenges in those countries, but those people, they tolerate themselves. And then too, for them, their bad things are not for the media. And even how their media works. You see, you think there are no bad things happening in Britain, a lot, but BBC will never show for you some of those things. There are a lot of bad scenes in US. CNN will never show for you those, but they will show for you things which promote their country. So as we practice politics, as we try to fight for leadership, that I want to be president, you know, some of our politicians, they are just fighting to be in position, but they have nothing actually in their minds to show or maybe to steer the country. I can tell you, some of these people are just fighting for position. But as Uganda, if we were to move, it should not just be only fighting for position, but it should be fighting for, you know, having good ideas to put forward. So as NRM, we are mobilizing the community to see that actually PDM succeeds. And I'm very happy to report that the response of the Wananchi is so great. They are getting to appreciate PDM, and most of them have promised that PDM has come to lighten their life. PDM is going to take them somewhere else. So they promise us that after the 2 years, they are going to be different, and that is our expectation. But besides that, we are approaching to 2026. So as NRM, we're also not interested in losing power. So we're also reviewing. We have taken 1 week reviewing how far we have gone in implementation of our manifesto. So we are checking how far we have gone in implementation of manifesto in the region, but also as in the district, but also, and this manifesto implementation, of course, we have checked how far we have done as a district in social services, how far we are, how our roads are doing, and we are taking this because most of the flag bearers in the district, they had won. Actually, all the leaders, I want to report that all the leaders in Arua district, the NRM, we are proud of that. But we want to maintain the status quo. For them to win again, meaning that we shall have to do good in service delivery. And this service delivery is manned by the LC5 chairman of the district and the council. So we shall keep checking them as NRM, because they are our flag bearers. We want them to perform very well so that NRM flag bearers will be elected again in 2026 together with the president and members of parliament. And if service delivery is good, and then there will be no room for opposition in Arua district. So those opposition, those who are thinking of going opposition in 2026 in Arua district, but the way people are reacting.
As you're talking about service delivery, if I look at the road all the way from Arua district, just from around Kuruva, stretching that Kampala road,
yes,
it's really in dire status. As the government, that 8 years in power, what are you going to do to ensure and maybe make the people believe that indeed you are working towards?
We, as Western Nile leaders, we had a meeting, a conference in Chankwans, and we have put our challenges. I told you, as Western Nile, we had to put basically 2 things to the government to solve within short time. One is the issue of electricity. When electricity comes to Western Nile, I can tell you that at 132 kV, when it lands, when it finally gets commissioned this year, you will see a lot of factories coming here, and that way we'll have solved problem of unemployment. When the factories, people will get employed, and the business will automatically change. So that is one front. Because as NRM, we are keeping the government in check. We want to see that our promises are achieved so that 2026 will be easier for us. True, the road from Arua, I said, for me, in my statement, I said road from Arua to Karuma. Currently, the state is not okay in many parts. That true, around the Kulumva area, but there are many spots as you drive on the way. Those of you who drive, you will see that there are many spots which are okay, not okay. But I'm happy that the government has actually handed over these roads, different sections to different contractors. And the contractor is mobilizing to get on the site. So my belief is that very soon this road will be upgraded and it is going to be a better tarmac. Okay. And that is our focus as NRM. We don't want to engage in useless fights with the opposition. We want to fight the opposition in Uganda by giving quality services to the Wananchi of Uganda, so that the Wananchi of Uganda will not get time to think about any alternative. Okay. Once we give, and that for those of us who are in the position of leadership in NRM, and the government, let us do our best. Let us not challenge the opposition by tear gas and them. Let us challenge the opposition by giving quality services to the Ugandans, so that Ugandans will never think about any alternative.
Okay, allow me now bring back Mr. Kiswa and also tell us, as head of security for that is Arua district, what are you doing, and maybe where is the celebration first going to be, because you have not told us where the celebration is going to be, and how prepared you are as the entity that is mandated to ensure security, because people who are coming there also need to ensure that they are safe, and this is where I want to bring on board in.
Yes, celebrations will be in Eruba Primary School, and we find Eruba quite central for our participants from Ajia, from Arivu, from Logir, and from Vura sub-counties. So that is where we are going to be, and we are highly prepared. We have had preparatory meetings. We have another preparatory meeting tomorrow, Wednesday, and the final one on Thursday at the venue. Most likely, we have also been considering in yesterday's meeting to postpone the day to 9th of February for one major reason, that we needed to send our delegation to Jinja to join His Excellency in the major national celebrations. But also we have very many sons of the soil here who are very big dignitaries whom would wish to be with us in the celebrations, but they may have to be in Jinja. But also it is important, some of us who will not go there, we can be glued on the TV and take up with His Excellency's message on the theme, which will give us direction. So, but that one will be concluded in tomorrow's meeting. But we are extremely ready, and like the NRM chairman has put it, there are many things we are going to remember. The chief administrative officer, one thing I know, I don't want to preempt his speech, is going to give us the status of the parish development model, disbursement and performance, but also the status of a Mioga performance, because with the Mioga we disbursed all the 580 million sometimes back. They are now revolving, and as you are aware, a Mioga money should be with the beneficiaries for at least 1 year. Then on the second year, they start paying it back. PDM money should be with the beneficiaries for at least 2 years. Then the third year, they will start paying it back with an interest of 6%. So that is those are the things we are going to evaluate and look at. And also send a very strong message to the community that the PDM funds must be appropriated or invested in as per the entrepreneur plan or business plan that they already had. Then our work will now be very easy to simply go to the communities and observe and supervise and advise and monitor how far they are moving on with the implementation. Otherwise, we are set, and we are going to specifically deal with the theme as it is. And you know, this theme is very, very rich. It is handling very different angles and putting it together. That this is a country that we must all cherish, okay, and we must all move along with it.
All right, thank you so much for that submission there. And really, it will be quite unfair for us to not talk about Honorable the late Cecilia Ogwal, because yesterday her body spent the night at Parliament, and we did see so many dignitaries really coming to eulogize and say so many nice things about her. We did have, that is the former Vice President, Speaker, Honorable Edward Chiwanuka II coming in place. We did also see President at night about 7:30 also coming into Parliament to eulogize the late. And maybe what can you say about the late, and maybe one thing also other leaders could learn from her character?
Yes, I was reserving my condolence message for the last, not to destroy my emotions of the remarks on TV. But I want to say that as the Okiswa Joffre and also as the RDC of Arua District, we join His Excellency the President and indeed the entire nation in mourning the demise of our senior legislator. Because to be very honest, I personally admired the submissions of Honorable Cecilia Ogwal in Parliament. And I saw her as a mature legislator, very objective, very assertive. She discusses issues with intellectualism, but also without fear or favor. There are some leaders who are very, very unrealistic and unobjective in discussions. But for her, I think she really gave a very good landmark that really most of our legislators should borrow from. To me, time always comes, and when the Lord says yes, who are you? The only thing now is to emulate her legacy in entrepreneurship, emulate her legacy in good leadership, her art of public speaking, the way she was presenting her issues, borrow leave from that. And for those already in Parliament, they should implement in accordance to that. Those who are yet to go to Parliament, they now have a plate to borrow from. And the only thing is to pray for her soul to rest in eternal peace.
That is the RDC, and I also want to call upon, that is Alioni Boniface, the NRM chairperson for Arua District, to make a similar remark maybe about the late Honorable Cecilia Ogwal, the woman member of Parliament, that is for Dokolo, whose body spent last night, and that is in the Parliament. And we are already talking about preparations for our burial, as we shall keep you updated in relation to her funeral. So I think all you need to do is be part of West Nile Television, and definitely we shall be in place to give you information that is in relation to our burial. And maybe finally, because as we are running out of time.
Thank you. I want to add my voice on saying condolences to the country and to the family of late Honorable Cecilia Ogwale. Her death has been a shock to us as a nation. This is a opposition figure who presented very unique characters and how genuinely in herself. She has been a role model to the ladies in this country as far as leadership is concerned, but she had also presented herself as a unique character in Parliament. You will see her supporting bills brought by the leader of government business for the good governance of this country, and sometimes you will see her classing with the opposition for having supported government views in some of the cases. Indeed, she has gone. We say that let her soul rest in peace.
All right, that is Alioni Boniface. Maybe your parting shots also, your last words. Yeah,
I want to thank His Excellency the President, who is also our national chairman for the party, and the cabinet, the Parliament, all the districts, and all leaders in this country for really NRM stands tall in this country, and NRM continues to deliver services. Government continues to deliver services, and those of us who are privileged to serve in NRM to see that the promises we made to the Wananchi for asking for votes in 2021, I want to request that we see that they are implemented, they are achieved to 100%, even plus, so that come 2026, once we shall make Ugandans happy in service delivery, as far as service delivery is concerned, and then we should be assured of getting rewards in 2026 in form of votes. So I appeal to people to celebrate NRM Day anniversary. I know different districts are organizing, Arua is organizing, Marata is organizing, Arua City is organizing. Let us go and celebrate. Indeed, where we have come from, it is from real hardship, and where we are now, it is a different transformation, and it is worth celebrating. And I invite the opposition. I invite the opposition to join us. Let them come and understand actually what we are celebrating. They may join us and even celebrate better. Thank you. Happy celebrations.
That is Alioni Boniface, the NRM chairperson for Arua District, and maybe I also want to bring upon That is Orchestra Geoffrey, the RDC of our district, to have his final words as we run out of time.
Yeah, my biggest is to thank West Nile TV. Thank you for this opportunity, because I wouldn't imagine now to be live when you traveled all the way to Kampala, 500 kilometers away, to go to NBS and go to other televisions. I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity. And we are talking about entrepreneurship. So my final cut is that His Excellency has had one of the biggest initiatives, what we even call the magic bullet to fight poverty. So I want everybody in the community to be having entrepreneur mind or business mind, so that there is a money economy and we fight poverty completely. The elements of corruption tendencies, particularly on PDM, must not now be there completely, because before, money used to come from Kampala on other initiatives. Then via the district, via the sub-county, by the time it reaches a beneficiary, it would have already lost value. But now, His Excellency directed that money comes directly from Kampala to the beneficiary. Actually, even the circle leaderships don't handle this money. What they do, they only organize the beneficiaries and the money goes. So let us avoid corruption. A situation where when you point a finger of corruption towards a district leader, then three fingers are pointing back at you. Let us develop our mind and have a mindset change. And once we have money in our pocket, and once we know that the country is becoming rich, then we can take wise decisions. I'm telling you, money works out magic. Money in your pocket, the brain works, and you really feel empowered, and you ensure the development of this country. But where you don't have money, then you will be manipulated. People will just come with a packet of salt, a half kilo of sugar, and they manipulate you into voting for them. But if you are empowered, then you're under that mango tree, you will listen to the leader, making his submissions to go into leadership. Then you say, yes, this one is a true leader who's going to get us out of the difficulties we have of socio-economic transformation and other leadership challenges, and then we shall get up to this country for development.
All right, that is Orchestra Geoffrey. And dear viewer, I want to thank you so much for you who watched right from the time we began until this hour, and we are still continuing, but we are stopping here with the discussions towards NRM Liberation Day. And we want to thank you so much for your comments, and we shall be able to also read them and share with the rest of the viewers. And for those who are watching us on Zuku, always that channel number is 0073 and the other various online platforms. And for now, we are running for a short commercial break, and when we return back, we shall be giving you updates on some of the stories. For now, it's a commercial break.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.